KL flight controllers coming up on auto sequence. Booster, how are you? Where go flight? Econ? Go flight. GMC? Go flight. Telcom? Go flight. Control? Go. Network, you got it, Dale? Got it all? Everything up? That's affirmative flight. Okay. Tony, loud and clear.
Okay. I think everything is good. Just watching the old network activity, and it's looking pretty good so far. I think we're good to start. So last time we left off, we sort of did a dry run of the launch, and now just we're sitting at the T minus 25 minutes. So we'll do the actual launch now. It's not that bad. Launch is one of the easier powered phases of flight, so it's pretty good. But yeah, first thing you want to do is, if you're not already running program 2, you're just going to want to enter verb 37, enter, 01, enter, and get everything lined up. And you can also align your GDC, or gyro display coupler. Once the no at light comes out, you can release that button. And program 2 is automatically going to start at that point. We do not need to change our launch azimuth, so now we'll just activate the auto RCS, skipping AC roll, just do up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, like so. Main A, main B, main A, main B, main B, main A, main A, main B, main A, main B, main B, main A. Very simple. Once we get down to the T minus 15-minute section, we're going to get CTE update verification, and we're going to need to check battery C and do a few switch position sets for our stabilization control system. So I'm going to time skip us down here to 15 minutes. There we go. 15 minutes right there. And let's get everything set. So we'll verify our battery C is good. Again, battery C is showing the voltage that the pyrobats are supposed to be displaying. So if that's high, it's good. Now FTAI scale will go to 5.5, which again, you're not going to see much of a change until we actually begin a different powered phase of flight. So we'll talk more about these switches a bit later. I already went through sort of a basic rundown. Rate high, trans control power on, our direct. There we go. I don't know what it is. The networking, the network is just hiccuping, so yeah, we'll just reconnect. Gonna have to figure this out at some point. You're gonna take your EDS auto to on at this point. So your auto abort capability will be let the no light. So no auto abort light will be off. Your EDS is on auto abort. Very good. All 3 of your abort switches should be up. RCS command will go to off. And TVC servos. Number 1 to AC1 main A. Number 2 to AC2 main B. Now we wait for the 10-minute mark. Coming down to our 10-minute mark. All we would need to do now is latch the fuel cell react valves in their current position, which all 3 are open. We can see here. Open, 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 because the talkbacks are gray. So, fuel cell react valves latch. At 8 minutes 30 seconds, if we were cold soaking with the secondary loop, we would turn that off. However, we were not. It is not required for most cases, so it should be off almost all the time. And now we're just going to wait for our 4-minute and 10-second mark, where the launch vehicle engine lights will come on. So we'll skip down to that time. We can see that the swing arm has retracted a little bit. Launch vehicle engine lights on now. Let's see, anti-sway bar has been retracted quite some time ago, and our tanking is almost complete.
Alright, CMP on panel 2, just to verify program 2. Program 2. Alright, CMP on panel 2, just insert verb 75 and do not enter.
Alright, verb 75, standing by.
Standing by.
Program 2 is keyed in. Tape recorder goes to forward. And at the 2 minutes 15-second mark, we will pull to bypass the radiators. 2 minutes 15 seconds. Primary glycol to radiator bypass. And at the 1 minute 15-second mark, we will activate our batteries. Batteries are on the main bus, and PADCOM's off. Now at this point in time, we would do the final alignment of the stabilization control system, ensuring no motion. And we're go for liftoff. That's it. That's T-minus 25 all the way down. Pretty simple. Also, by the way, these are supposed to be open just in case we have an abort. So open those if they're not, and then yep, CDR, GDC align, final alignment of that stabilization control system, and we're good. Go for liftoff.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
Verify liftoff light, verify verify event timer start, program 11 start, and emission elapsed timer start. Very good. Verify that the yaw program was complete, and verify your roll and pitch program. Rolls in, and pitch is programmed. Starting the gravity turn. Through the entire first stage, the pitch is a set rate, pre-programmed closed loop. Once we stage and guidance converges, the spacecraft will activate its own steering.
Stand by for 1 Bravo. Mark.
Abort mode 1 Bravo. Click the propellant dump auto switch to RCS command. Now, if we were to abort, we would pressurize the RCS. We can go to our boost checklist. Come up to our 1 minute. We are about to hit max Q. We're going to verify that our cabin pressure has been decreasing. And yep, we could see it was at 16 psi, and now it is holding at 5.5. Very good.
Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Mark, mode 1 Charlie.
Mode 1 Charlie. Key verb 82, enter. Noun 62, enter.
This is Houston, you are go for staging.
The rest of these switches, off. EDS to manual, to engine out detection off, and launch vehicle rate detection off. From this point on, you have manual control of all aborts. Inboard cutoff is in.
Confirm inboard cutoff. Confirm inboard. Gotcha.
Staging happens at 2 minutes 39 seconds. You didn't miss much, just the beginning 2 minutes, pretty much. Oh, I will watch it. Staging. Booster ignition. So now a pre-programmed pitch program has started on stage 2. Thrust is go all engines.
Thrust is go all engines. You're looking good.
Once we get skirt set, we'll prepare for tower jettison. So our pre-programmed pitch is in, and at some point, guidance will converge. And there we go. We can see guidance has started converging. So tower jettison. Unlike in NASP, you don't need to manually click it, but if you'd like, you could just do one of the switches, cover them, manual attitude pitch to rate command, angle of attack. Now you're going to monitor SPS partial thrust, and you're going to activate your evaporator. Steam pressure to auto, H2O flow to auto. So yep, we could see at that 3 minute 20 second mark, we did get that guidance initiate. And at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, we'll get the converged guidance, or a call out that the guidance is go to proceed. And I will watch that video as soon as we're done with the insertion stuff. Because after that, it's going to be a pretty short stream today. After that, I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up before I have to go to bed for first shift. So I'll watch it then. Yeah, so now pretty much we're sitting here monitoring everything, making sure that we're looking nice and good. I'm using the control keys like it's NASP to try and move around. Here we go, left-hand window. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Just gonna monitor your systems, make sure your cabin pressure is holding, make sure that your suit temps are holding. Cabin temp's probably gonna fall off a little bit because we're still in our suit loop. So cabin temp is gonna get a little cold, but that'll That'll write itself out. Just have to correct some grammar. Oh, you don't need to like put text or anything. I mean, it's like, unless you want to, you can always put text to your videos. That's either way. I was thinking after we finish the reentries, like Apollo stuff, that I could do. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, a tutorial about the abort modes in NASP, because the abort modes actually work in NASP. So I figured that may be cool to watch. I really like Reentry's S4B model, or not S4B, like Saturn model. The only thing is it's so many polygons that when you're like looking at it from afar, it looks white. Like, I mean, I get that it's white, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got that plastic look to it. That's the only thing I don't like. That and the heat shield for these engines should be gold, not silver. All right, awesome. Oh, so we did have our 6-minute call out. So S4B to CY capability occurs at the 6-minute mark. So engine 1, or sorry, SPS motor, pitch 1, yaw 1, pitch 2, yaw 2. Verify your GPI indication is good. And reset. At your 6 minutes and 15 seconds, you're going to switch to Omni Charlie. Not that it matters too much. Then at your 7 minutes, 39 seconds, we'll get our inboard engine cutout. Sorry, I totally missed the 6-minute call out there because I was critiquing the model on the outside. That's my bad. Inboard.
Roger, we confirm engine board now. Roger.
But yeah, you got all your timestamps for everything here, so as long as you know you don't just click run and do everything, you'll be fine. Which, that's the biggest thing you can learn. Do not just click run and do everything. It makes me so mad. Alright, propellant utilization shift. So that's going to essentially change the propellant utilization so that both the oxidizer and the propellant expire at the exact same time. Anyways, biggest takeaway from any of my videos is that you don't just do the checklist, you read it. Make sure you're doing it at the right time. Don't like blast through the whole pre-flight procedures. Go for staging. Level sense arm 8+3 5. Staging at 9+1 1. And we are mode 4 capability.
Mode 4 capability. Shut off. Stages and ignition. Ignition confirmed. Thrusters go.
Good. And we can see the S4B stage doesn't have pre-programmed guidance. Like the steering will just, it converges on the S4B immediately, so it's nothing you need to worry about. Anyways, yeah, don't just like blast through these checklists. They have timings, they have when you're supposed to do things. Like if you sit here and you just blast through all this checklist and you get to launch and you wonder like, oh my god, why the fuck are my batteries dead? Yeah, it's because you weren't paying attention to the time. Just quit doing that. Yeah, being excited is okay. Rushing is not. Alright? Rushing is not. And it's not just like, oh, you forget it. It's that when you intentionally make it a habit. I've seen I've seen so many people do this. I've seen new people do it that are like popular and are like, oh, hey, check out this like space game, and then they never play it again. I mean, we've all seen those videos. I've seen Rebel do it. I've seen people learning NAS, just blazing through. Like, stop. Because you have consumables on the spacecraft, and if you're not smart, you will run out of the most critical element, which is your reentry batteries. So just stop it. If it tells you to do it at 6 minutes, do it at 6 minutes. Don't do it at T-minus 10. It makes me sad. It makes you sad when you die. So don't kill yourself by ignoring the checklist. Yeah, like, for the love of God, stop using the rentable checklist. It's terrible. Just use the printed one. It's much better. All right. Two. Hello, welcome. Alright, 1 second off from my prediction, but that's okay. You got shut down, so you can give yourself a key release. Just at the end of the boost checklist, we can see shut down, record, right? Record the readout, then hit key release, record the readout again. We're in a 103.3 by 103.2 orbit, which is unrealistically perfect. Proceed. All right. Verb 37, enter. 00, enter. When the activity light is out, like again, like you don't just want to blaze through. Look at this. You miss it if you use the runnable checklist. You miss the critical detail of when the activity light is out. Verb 66, to copy your CSM state vector into your LM slot. And then verb 45, which activates your extended verb list. Now you're going to load your digital autopilot. Verb 48, enter. Verb 24, enter. Now, normally you would just enter 31102, but in reentry, there is always a need for a parity bit, which I just don't understand why that is even like that. But yeah, just put a plus 31102, enter, plus 01111, enter. Proceed. Now you're going to calculate the weight, which you can just request right here, request weight data. And our weight, verb 21, enter, is plus 60,215 pounds, enter. Proceed. And we need no gimbals for our SPS since we're still attached to S4B. So proceed again. We'll run through that digital autopilot load routine. And now you do verb 46, which toggles the DAP. And now you do verb 83. You're going to verify, well, normally, if verb 83 was implemented, you would verify that row 1 and row 2 were equal to each other, and that they're both equal to 0. That is, however, not implemented in reentry, so you're good on that. Now, one thing to note, and I've seen Rebel do this, I've seen many people do this. Do not request. This is very important. Do not request translunar injection burn right now. You have a slurry of tests and switches to flip and systems to set up for orbital coast. If you request TLI right now, you will miss it, and you will soft lock the game. You will not be able to calculate a new TLI, and you will soft lock. If you're a beginner, do not even request TLI until you have finished TLI concatenated checklist. Very, very important. Okay? I cannot stress that enough. If you request right now, or if you request too soon and you miss it, you will soft lock reentry. If you're not confident, it's okay to spend a full orbit. They did it in real life. They spent a full orbit before they lit the S4B. It's very, very important. It hasn't got patched. I don't think it will get patched. Do not soft lock yourself. Okay? So now, just to review, we did our launch preparations at T-minus 25 minutes. We did our boost. We followed it to the end. Now we do the insertion checks. The insertion checks, everything goes from top to bottom in this section. Same with every other section. The only time it doesn't is when you're running a concatenated checklist or some kind of aid checklist. That's when it doesn't go top to bottom. Right? You have your concatenated checklist, so you don't need to run the other 3 because it's all a part of the concatenated checklist, which is just made simpler for understanding purposes. Look at all this. This is really confusing for beginners. So good on reentry. Props to them for making this concatenated checklist. So yeah, very simple. Run your insertion routines top to bottom for this part. Begin with your status check. We can see gimbal motors go off. So we'll start with that. Pitch 1, yaw 1. Pitch 2, yaw 2. Take your entry batteries off, your main bus ties. Delta thrust switches should be off. Rotational hand controlled direct coils off. ELS to manual. Command module RCS logic off. Now you can open your ELS circuit breakers. And you can safe your pyros. And disable your logic relays. And you can open the pyro arm circuit breakers right there. And you can disable your auto RCS select. At this point, you're in orbit, so you can actually close the command module RCS isolation valves because there's no situation where we're going to abort with the capsule, so you can close that now. No longer needed. And you can also monitor your SMRCS.
Definitely will break the game. Also request any burn unless you're ready because you look up the computer for...
Yes, exactly. Don't do anything unless you're ready. It sounds simple, but just people don't. They just they don't follow the It's just don't do something unless you're ready. It sounds so simple, but just people don't know that. Emergency detection power off. TVC servos off. Again, those are the middle position. PCM bitrate to low. Fuel cell react valves go to normal. Uplink telemetry instrument unit as required. We do not require any uplink to that. Take our surface module RCS heaters to on. Keep those nice and toasty. We can see they are getting a little cold, and now they're warming up nicely. Caution and warning mode to normal now. And skip any of the side hatch stuff, any BPC jet and side hatch stuff. That stuff we don't need to worry about. Perform SCS attitude reference comparison check and sextant dust cover jettison procedures. Those are not simulated, so you're just going to make sure that your optics power is on. And that's it. You're not going to touch anything else. Now we can run our ECS post-insertion. Yeah, definitely. I've learned that the hard way. It still happens sometimes. ECS post-insertion. So we can perform our secondary radiator leak check. We're going to flip the old valve. Actually, let's stow the seats real quick. Let's just make this nice and simple for us. Stow the seats, get some lights turned on. Crank these up by one. There we go. And we can look back here, flip that to normal, and just monitor this for, or secondary. There we go, monitor that for 30 seconds. Looks pretty good. It's holding stable, so we can turn it off, or bypass the secondary glycol to radiators, and open the post-landing vent circuit breaker. Get our cabin relief valves to their normal position. And now at this point, we can initiate radiator flow. So we can open the glycol reservoir bypass line. We can close the glycol reservoir outlet, close the glycol reservoir inlet, double check that our primary accumulator is somewhere between 25 and 50%, which is very good. We can fill it as well, primary accumulator fill, until it's 50%, and then turn it off. Radiator flow control power on. And now, glycol to radiators, normal. Now we have radiator flow established. We'll need the heater turned on. We can turn on the drinking water supply if it is still off. And we can turn on the potable water heater and the inlet controller for the glycol evaporator. The temperature inlet controller. We can see pump is running. We do have evaporations. We can actually double check that. Going manual and going back to auto. Yeah, we can see. Ah, that's what it is. They haven't simulated the evaporation for the steam pressure yet. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, it's stuck at the not evaporating state. This steam pressure should drop if it's evaporating. But that's okay. Close our waste dump heater circuit breakers. Fill the repress package. Yeah, you don't need to do a P52 for TLI since the booster does it for you. It's really only required for lunar orbit insertion and any mid-course corrections you might find yourself needing. I personally don't need any mid-course corrections in reentry, but I'm always needing them in NASP because NASP is just simulated better in that regard. Now that the line is filled, turn off the line. And down to systems check. Mount the ordeal box, which is automatically done in reentry. We can even see, hey look, the altimeter knob was also automatically set. Very nice. Perform the caution and warning operations check. Very simple. Lamp test, cycle, and we're good. Perform SMRCS monitoring check. Just click through, make sure everything's in the green. Make sure your helium tank temps make sense. Again, helium tank temps are not simulated, so just make sure you have full quantity and everything's in the green. Very good. Command module RCS, you're not really going to get anything good out of this because it's pre-pressurized, but you'll make sure the first 3 needles meet their pre-press conditions. And now you're just going to click through, make sure all of this stuff looks good. And you'll make sure all of this stuff looks good. You'll make sure your fuel cell flows look good. And you'll make sure your SPS, helium, and nitrogen stuff look good. And that's it. Oh yeah, also your tank pressures and quantities. Basically, just make sure none of these lights are on. Pretty simple. Close the COAS tunnel lighting circuit breaker. And run cabin atmosphere. So cabin pressure should be 5.6 to 6.2, and we did verify that. A little bit less than 5.6, but that's okay. And normally it's sitting at 5. Close the direct O2. O2 flow should be 0.2 pounds per hour. Very good. Emergency cabin pressurization selector to both. Suit circuit return. Now we can unisolate the suit loop and add it to the cabin loop. See, the cabin should theoretically start warming up at that point. We are, however, on max cool, so we can crank up the cabin temperature this way as well. Gimbal lock not simulated in reentry. That, and actually this gimbal thing is not even working properly anyways. When we insert, the gimbal is not supposed to drive to this weird position. But it did. So, huzzah, I guess.
I don't have to hit M constantly. Yeah.
That's true. It does still show the full checklist. You can turn off the auto advancing feature as well. That's always an option. Yeah, gimbal lock, we're not even close to hitting gimbal lock. Plus, gimbal lock is not simulated in reentry, and also the gimbal isn't even supposed to drive to this position. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Look at how we're facing, look at the gimbal, look at how we're facing. The spacecraft yaws 3 degrees on launch, and then yaws back to 0 degrees so that it can avoid the launch tower. That is the only yawing. We're supposed to be at yaw 0 right now. I have no idea how we got this roll and this yaw out of it, but you know what? It works for reentry, so I'm just not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it. Yep. We were supposed to get increase when we unisolated the suit loop. We did not, however. If you do get it, you can reset it by pulling the transducer group 2. Which, by the way, this circuit breaker is supposed to be open nominally, so if you want, you can leave it in. Otherwise, I would open it. It's supposed to be open in real life, so we'll have it open here. Waste stowage valve. Waste stowage vent valve we can close. It's already closed. ECS transducer. Yep, very good. And so our last thing is sequence pyro arm. So we would close these 2 circuit breakers and get the logic on. And that preps us for our TLI concatenated check. So that's it. That is the entirety of liftoff and the insertion checks. Now, at this point, if you're a professional, you can request TLI. If you are not a professional, you will go from here down to here, and then you will request TLI before you move on to P15. Okay? That's the advice. We'll cover TLI, though, in the next stream.
Be careful. Yep. Plus. Yep. I did not. I only simulated an ASP. This FDAI in Ordeal or inertial?
It's actually in inertial right now. It is in inertial. So I cannot tell you how it even derived this position. Look at our position. We are on the liftoff reps mat, so aside from pitch, the yaw and the roll are derived from Earth's reference. Look at our position. Look at the ball. Look at our position. Look at the ball. Look at our position. It drives me nuts. I don't know what it is, but it drives me nuts. It does. It drives me nuts. I have no idea. But it does. So that's it. That ends it for little astronaut boot camp. So at this point, I think, how long have we been on for? 58 minutes. Wow, this felt really short. I think if anyone has any questions, we can do that. Otherwise, I think we're good. I'm gonna make a save state because I don't, while I haven't invested much time, I don't want to, like, I don't want to have to do the insertion checklist again, even though it's not that bad. It used to take me so long, but now it literally took me like 5 minutes. It used to take me forever, but once you run it in ASP and you come back to entry, it's like stuff just takes lickety split because the procedures and everything have just been cut in half. It's interesting. Anyways, yeah. Last bit of our tutorial, how to kill yourself in Apollo, in space. Yes. You come here, you see many Valufis. Yes. You go blah. Oh, hold on. Forgot the circuit breakers. There you go. You go blah, blah, blah. Now you are fucking dead. Have fun with this new information. Like call thing always gets you though. Yeah, the it's not evaporating in reentry. It doesn't show evaporating. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The glycol loop, the changes happen instantaneously. The pumps don't run down. They just stop instantaneously, which would rip apart a pump. Especially a pump of this power. And yeah, the steam pressure does not reflect the evaporating status. Because, right, when you're not evaporating, it's full of water. So, of course, the pressure shows higher than what it actually is, right? It's full of water. Water is a higher pressure than steam. It's like the detector is, it's more dense. The detector type that's in there, it shows really high steam pressure, but it's not steam, it's water. So when you're evaporating, then you show the legitimate steam pressure. So I don't know what's up with that one. But yeah, it's weird. I fly NASP, but the beginners fly reentry, so that's what we're here for. Bridging the gap for the beginners. Community service. Nah, for real. Reentry's not that bad. Absolutely, I love Mercury and Gemini. It's just Apollo has, like, just so many weird things with Apollo, so that's what it is. Since the stream was so short, I think we're gonna throw on top a small little Mercury Redstone mission, and then I think we'll cut it off there. Because I like to end on a high note, and I love Mercury and Gemini in Reentry. The simulation is so good. There's some stuff that isn't simulated, but what is simulated is not half implemented or half-assed. It is done with care and attention to detail, and it's so good. It is. Mercury and Gemini are like, they're some of the best simulation of the spacecraft that are out there. Like, as far as I know, Reentry and Orbiter are the only simulations of Mercury and Gemini, and Reentry has the best simulation of both Mercury and Gemini. So hats off. All right. Also, I think that the checklist here just, I don't know, with the Apollo checklist, it looks a little fuzzy on the top here. It looks good. Although this briefing not being aligned right does bother me a little bit, but that's the least of the problems, really. Run the full internal power checks. You do have to run the checklists here in these types of missions, but that's fine, because in Mercury and Gemini, the full procedures are in the runnable checklist. So, that's good. Yeah, I know that it's like maybe systems-wise, Apollo will get there at some point. Maybe not full complexity, but at least the gauges will read the right thing. It's the computer. I know that the computer will never get there because they can't use the real program because it's a sailed product, and you can't get the license for using the computer virtual AGC if you're doing a sailed product because of there's just rules. It's just like, I don't mind the computer, just please remove the parity bit when it's not actually supposed to be there. That's the only thing. Please remove the parity bit when it's not supposed to be there. That's it. That's my one gripe. I'm so confused why everything has a parity bit.
Observe rest period. Roger, resting. Cameras and tape running. Affirmative. Roger, perform light work task. Roger, light work.
I actually think that maybe the space shuttle computer will be easier to implement. But we'll see.
Roger, perform heavy work task. Heavy work task. Okay. Roger, sufficient, thank you. CO, control fuel. Station. Automatic fuel is 95, manual is 96, cameras and tape recorders are running. Cabin pressure. 15.2.
Measuring. Air temperature.
94.
Oxygen.
100% plus.
Read out your DC volts.
Main is 24. Number 1 is 25. 2 is 25. 3 is 25. Standby 26. Isolated 29. Back to main. Current is 29 amps.
Roger, suit and cabin temperature, full CCW.
Roger, full. Counterclockwise.
ASCS and fans.
Yes.
ASCS is 118. Fans is 115.
The space shuttle in SSV, it doesn't look good, and it's not, like, barely anything's implemented.
We gotta go.
I don't want to touch it till it's, like, actually decently flyable.
TM Blockhouse, do I have a go?
Space Shuttle Mission 2 is in closed testing,
Stand by one.
so they almost have a finished product.
I gotta know, I'll have to hold it too.
Roger, I'm going to hold. 2 minutes, 40 seconds in holding.
The hold period is built in here.
Roger, understand. TM is go. We have a momentary hold. Stoney, hold on with me until I give you the word. Stoney, Raj.
I'm holding here. I have not recycled at this time.
Freedom 7, Capcom, you read Jeff, how do you read? 7, rating it loud and clear, Capcom, over to Chase. It's Chase 2.
Chase 2.
TM Blockhouse, what are your camera and tape recorders this time?
They're on. What is that?
Okay, if you would like to, I'll get an estimate on this.
Freedom 7,
How soon could you have them back on if I take them off?
All you have to do is give me the word. I've got one switch.
7, standby, Capcom, I'm still on Bob's.
Clearance to resume the count.
All Mercury stations,
Panel,
we intend to pick up. Just keep your camera and tape recorders on. CO, did you verify you got a recorder light?
This is the CO, I did.
Okay, Paul,
Okay.
ready to resume the count?
Roger, ready to resume the count. STE, I'm going to turn it over to Stoney, verify.
Resume the count.
Okay,
in
Stoney, take it over. Roger.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I dig Space Shuttle Mission 2007. I think the best Space Shuttle sim out there is actually
7, loud and clear, Stoney.
Space Shuttle 19... Was it 1998? I think it's Space Shuttle 1998. Best Space Shuttle game. Absolutely. That shit ran on a floppy disk. I'm kidding. It was on a CD. It was on a CD, but it looked like it ran on a floppy disk. It played like it ran on a floppy disk. But it was so cool. It was like all pixel graphics, but it was three-dimensional pixel graphics. And it looked really good. It looked really good. And it had like the different models, and you could even fly Space Shuttle Enterprise.
7, Roger.
I wanted to get the game, but it's like, it's one of those vintage things. Like, I don't have it anymore, and it's one of those vintage things that like costs over $100. I'm like, damn, I'll get it eventually. Yeah, it's a vintage game, and I'm all about vintage, you know? I still got my NES. So, Still got my nest, and I've gotten further than anyone in my family in Marble Madness, so. I also got my track and field and my pinball machines.
1 minute and counting. Roger.
Roger Dodger, Houston. Roger Dodger, Cape.
45 and counting. Mark.
Cape Capcom, CC.
Roger.
Ten.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. All right, liftoff, and the clock has started.
Windows XP is not. It is not. It's not in retro. Oh my god, there's no way Windows XP is retro. It's not even 20 years old yet, is it? No, there's no way Windows XP is 20 years old. It's not retro yet.
This is Freedom 7. The fuel
It's only retro when it's 20 years old.
2G, cabin at 14 psi. Oxygen is go. As understand, detect the air, okay.
No way Windows XP is over 20 years old.
Freedom 7 is still go.
I feel like I was using Windows XP yesterday.
This is 7. Fuel is go. 1.8 G. 8 psi cabin, and the oxygen is go. Cabin pressure is holding at 5.5. Cabin holding at 5.5.
Cabin valves remain sealed. Environment's holding.
Fuel is go, 2.5 G. Cabin 5.5. Oxygen is go. The main bus is 24. And the isolated battery is 29. Right, 3 to 5. Protect the okay. Okay, it's a lot smoother now, a lot smoother. Roger. Seven here, fuel is go, 4G, 5.5 cabin, oxygen go, all systems are go. That's all systems go, detector all okay. 5G. Cut off. Tower jettison green. All right, actual now. Disarm. Cap step is green. Periscope is coming out. And the turnaround has started. SCS is okay.
Yes, good. Reconnected. Fantastic.
This is okay. Switching to manual yaw.
Alright, manual yaw.
Manual yaw.
Yaw left. Yaw right. Yaw left. Very good.
Yaw is okay. Switching manual roll.
Manual roll. Roll left. Good. Roll right. Good. Roll left. Good. Good.
Roll is okay.
Roll okay, let's get here.
On the Paris. Control is smooth. Is smooth.
Oh, huge drop. Damn.
Retro 1. Very smooth. Retro 2.
Alright, how we going? We're back? Good.
Retro 3. All 3 retros are fired. Okay, 3 retros have fired. Retro jettison is back to arm.
The booster.
Negative. Switching fly-by-wire.
Alright, how's it looking now? Still good?
Jettison confirmed.
Roger, do not have a light. I do not have a light. I see the straps falling away. I heard a noise. I will use override. Override used. The light is green.
Valid.
Oh, roger. Periscope is retracting. I'm on fly-by-wire going to re-entry attitude. Okay, Buster, re-entry attitude. Switching ASCS normal. ASCS is okay.
Audio's choppy, but I'm still here. Let's take a look. Alright, looks like we're back up. Switching to HF for radio check.
Freedom 7, Capcom, how do you read HF?
Roger, reading you loud and clear, HF, decom me.
Freedom 7, Capcom, how do you read set?
Reading you loud and clear, HF, how me?
Back to you, HF.
Okay, this is Freedom 7. G build up. 3, 6, 9. Okay. Okay.
Alright, audio's choppy, but I'm still here. That's good.
Okay.
Just like in space. No different.
Okay. This is 7, okay. $45,000 feet now. 40,000 feet. I'm back on ASCS. 35,000. $30,000 feet.
Capcom, how do you read now?
Roger, Deke, reading you loud and clear, how many?
Switched over to GDI.
Roger.
Drogue.
The drogue is green at 21. The periscope is out. The drogue is out.
Periscope's not out,
drogue
but
deploy, I've got 70% auto, 90% manual.
we can
Oxygen
make
still
the
okay.
periscope deploy. There we go.
And the snorkel's at about 15,000 feet. Emergency flow rate is on. Standing by for main. Main on green. Main chute is reefed. Main chute is green. Main chute is coming unreefed and it looks good. The main chute is good. The rate of descent is reading about 35 feet per second.
It reminds me of this. Someone has a channel and they have
Hello,
taken out
Capcom
all
Freedom
the
7.
cool
How do you
sounds
read?
and harsh noises because ASMR. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Alright. Well, we did our Apollo tutorial and a little bit of bonus Mercury flight. So,
Freedom 7, this is Indian Capcom. Do you read me?
little bonus there. See, now this heat shield looks good. The Apollo one looks plasticky, but this looks...
Feet, the main chute is good. The landing bag is on green. My peroxide has dumped. My condition is good.
Alright. Well, we keep dropping off, and at this point, we finished the mission, so as soon as we splash, I'm gonna end it.
7,000 feet.
Everyone have a good night, and I'm gonna check out Madison's NASP flight, and I'll see what goes on in there. So thanks for stopping by.
Please relay. Hello, card file 23, card file 23, Freedom 7, over. Freedom 7, this is card file 23, over. This is 7, relay back to Capcom, please. My altitude now 4,000 feet. Condition as before, the main chute is good. The landing bag has deployed, the peroxide has dumped. All right, understand. Relay. Card file 23, Freedom 7. Go 7, this is 23. I'm about 1,500 feet now. The main chute still looks good. Rate of descent is indicating 30 feet per second. All right. Freedom 7, this is 23. I have no transmissions from Cape Capcom. Over. Roger.
Freedom 7, this is Cape Capcom. Over.
This is 7. Go ahead.
You have something to transmit at this time. Over.
Everything, my condition is still good. I'm getting ready for impact.
Oh, roger.
That's impact. Thanks for stopping by.